What's up, everybody? This is TRAYSCAPES, and this is an interview with Jim Kelly from Advanced Simulation Products. This is everything you need to know about the A.S.P game controller and more. This interview went a little longer than we were hoping for, but it is a good interview. There's a lot of ground we had to cover. We did have a great time making this video. Either way, I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Ride or die. What's up, everybody? This is TRAYSCAPE, and we got a special video for you guys today. We're going to be interviewing Jay Kelly from Advanced Simulation Product. This is something we talked about before, and we finally had a chance to all get together. Before we get going, I'd like to thank our sponsor, tserverhq.com, for hosting our team speak. And I would like to introduce you to the team. Most of you guys should know Dustin, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
What up? Dustin, VP TRAYSCAPES.
And also we got the famous Survivalist. Definitely check him out if you want to see some more awesome ATS videos. Survivalist, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
What up, everybody? It's Survivalist.
And also a special guest, the famous Jay Kelly from Advanced Simulation Product. Jay Kelly, if you don't mind introducing yourself.
What's up, everybody? Jim Kelly. A lot of you might know me. I don't know. From Trey's channel. Also part of Evil PC Gaming. So you can check out that channel, EVOL PC Gaming.
Which is a great channel, by the way. I subscribed to you way before I subscribed to Full Tilt.
Well, it has been a little on the slower side, just as a heads up for everyone. Been busy with the gaming boxes, so.
A lot of people have been hearing about the Advanced Simulation Product box. I mean, you know, so what is it? I guess what's your mission, if you just want to do a quick rundown about this awesome game controller?
Alright, so the Advanced Simulation Products, or ASP, or A.S.P, different people say different things. It's a game controller box right now. Two of them, I would say, is mostly aimed towards ATS. All four of them originally were aimed towards ATS, though two different models. I mean, I kind of wanted something you could use across different game genres. And also in the future, I will have different controllers aimed towards those genres, like flight sims, racing sims, just different ones. I'm real big into simulation games, so that's really what got me going down this path of trying to build a button box that kind of covered everything that I play, because I do American Truck, and I used to do Euro Truck, and iRacing, Assetto Corsa, DCS, all kinds of stuff.
So, Jay Kelly, I don't know if a lot of people know. I mean, the best thing I like about your channel, and I kind of wish I did with my channel, is you're not locked down to one game. You're a hardcore gamer. I mean, that's fair to say. I mean, when I think of you, I think hardcore gamer. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'm definitely a hardcore gamer, and that's where I kind of came up with the name Evil PC Gaming, because it's love spelled backwards. Yes, I did steal that partially from the Eminem song, but I did agree with it. Love is evil, and loving PC games is evil because you dump money into your systems. $600 video cards, and $400 CPUs and stuff like that. So I'm definitely a hardcore gamer. Love my gaming.
Well, I think we all are, and a lot of people ask me all the time, hey, how much did you spend for your setup? And I always tell them all the time, I stopped counting after 3,000. So
yeah, it's expensive. Just my upgrade, and I had probably half to three-quarters of the stuff already, like hard drives and monitors and all that stuff. Still cost me $1,200-1,300 just to upgrade my system to what I wanted.
Gaming's not cheap. I mean, a lot of people say, oh, I wish, ATS was in console, but I mean,
No,
nothing's like gaming. yeah, you can't. People say, what's better, console or PC? And I used to be like console all day, and then now I'm like, dude, nothing's better than the PC. I mean, mods. You can't do mods with a console, so yeah, PC is definitely where it's at. If you're really into games, it's a whole new experience compared to a console, that's for sure. So, Jay Kelly, so you're really hardcore into gaming. I mean, what got you into gaming? When was your first experience having the game? When were you like, dude, this is the bomb. This is what I got to do.
What got me into gaming? It's gonna make me sound old, but the Atari game system, first console, pretty much that I can remember that was out there. Besides maybe the Pong system back in the day, but yeah, I would say the Atari might have been the I don't know, Atari 2600 or something like that. Playing like River Raider and Pitfall and all that stuff as a kid. It was fantastic. And then of course it migrated into Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And my father was an early adopter of the PC at home, and our first computer was an Atari. As far as I remember, the Atari was the first clickable desktop interface, I think. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but I remember playing games like slot machine games where you actually had to grab the coin and put the mouse up to the slot and let it go, and then go over there and pull the lever and and move the mouse down. It's just, I've always loved gaming.
Well, you're not alone. We're the same age, and I had Atari too. I know Pitfall very well. The guy running down, jumping on the rope, and trying not to fall into the pit with the alligators. So,
damn right.
And
that fantastic 8-bit music.
It was the best. For hours, we were listening to the same loop of music.
Yeah.
So, same thing with me. I remember. I had a stepbrother, he had a Commodore 64, and I remember like the first ever test drive was actually on that game. And so
I had that on the Atari system.
Yep, Choplifter. That was a good one. On Atari.
Yeah, I remember being young and naive, and I actually thought when you pressed the button down to shift gears and test drive that you actually had to move the joystick, to move the shifter, kind of like you would on a H shifter today, but on the G27. But yeah, just young and naive, just had a blast.
I still remember the code for Contra: up, down, left, right, A, B, start.
Wasn't it A, B, start? No, A, B, select start. I don't know, but yes, very close.
Right.
Contra. I used to play Shad Contra too.
Exactly my point. Jay Kelly is a hardcore gamer. He knows.
Yeah.
But you remember what I'm talking about. So, all right. So you got into gaming. You love gaming. That's how you ended up hooking up with Full Tilt. Is you guys were playing online and all that good stuff. And so, when did the light go off where you were like, I got an idea. I'm gonna make this button box. I mean, what was the day? Where were you at? That's one of the things I always wondered. Like, when did the light bulb go off with you, Jay Kelly, and you said, I'm gonna do this?
Well, like I said, recently, I had the idea prior. I just didn't, I didn't go after it. I always kind of thought, like, I could build something like this or build something like that. I get ideas like that all the time in my head. Like, eventually I want to build a custom desk that's still functional, but it's gaming. And, I don't know, I did a video a long time ago. I took my current desk, converted it to where all my drawers pull out and have all my controllers and everything on there. But when everything's closed up, it's kind of clean looking. So what really made me go at doing the button box was I was playing American Truck Simulator. I believe it was out when I started thinking about it. ATS, Elite Dangerous. I was doing DCS, which is a military flight sim. I can't stand going down to the keyboard, for one. And then I started looking at the prices of the button boxes. And they were very game genre oriented. You either bought one and it was for flight sim, or you bought one and it was for racing. So I kind of wanted that cross-platform, or not cross-platform, cross-genre box that would be fully functional with practically everything I played. Like I said, between jumping on iRacing, I used to do iRacing hardcore almost every night. I had a team, Evil Motorsports. it's just when you get into games that deep, you want the immersion and you want the convenience. It's when you're flying after somebody, locking on, getting ready to kill them, out of the air, or you're getting ready to make that pass where it's so tight you're gonna scrape paint off the wall. You can't look down at the damn keyboard and press that key combo to maybe change your black box or change your weapons or whatever. And there's only so many buttons on the G27. So I really wanted to expand. So then on top of that, the cost of the boxes, not only were they genre specific, but the cost of them. And I started thinking, I could build exactly what I want, probably for about the cost, if not a little less, my initial thinking. And that's pretty much when I got started. I started buying stuff and testing stuff.
Jay Kelly, you like just sang my song. I feel the same way. I mean, when you're playing games like that, and people go, "Man, you got a lot of money in your setup." It's the immersion into the game. I don't want to look at a keyboard. I don't want to touch a keyboard. If I'm not typing something, then I don't need a keyboard. So I'm with you. And it's funny that you say that, Dustin. I mean, we have videos, Dustin. Remember when we first got the USB fully shipped there? We were like, dude, we were looking into getting button boxes, and everything was either way too much money, and like you said, it was just for iRacing, and it wasn't. We could not find nothing like this. Dustin, you remember that? I wonder if I could dig up the video for this. You remember that?
Yeah, definitely. Then we kind of came across this, and it was like, holy crap. And then he's got interchangeable faceplates, and that was pretty cool too.
Yeah, that was one of the main reasons I went with the interchangeable faceplate. I have a big issue of, like, I'll stay in a game for a while, maybe full tilts into some of the other guys, like Pro Canadian Pilot, that takes care of my website and the forums and all that stuff. It's like, but we'll get stuck on one thing. Like way back, we were doing DCS. Like every day, we're having DCS, taking 15s up, flying formation, going out for the hunt, and all that. But then, you kind of burn yourself out on it. Then we jump over to something else. Me and Pro used to play the crap out of Elite Dangerous. Where the problem really came in, because I was in the process of, thinking of this button box and everything, was by the time I come back to the game, like I have the Cytec X55 for my flight sims. Lots of switches, with the momentary toggles and all that stuff. The problem is, when I came back, I would kind of forget what I set to what and what did what. I'd have to take a little bit, sometimes an hour, 2 hours, depending on how long of a break I took, to get back in a rhythm of, okay, that's right, this switches that switches this. Because like on the X55, you got tons of switches, but they're labeled toggle 1, toggle 2, switch 1, switch 2, like that doesn't tell me anything. Then when I hop over to Elite Dangerous, I couldn't remember what the hell my switches were. So that's where the interchangeable face comes in. Just because a heavy hauler is based strictly, right there after the truck look, doesn't mean you have to use it in the truck. You can use it in anything that detects a joystick, which I'm sure we'll get into later, but you can pull that face off, and, if you ordered another face, you could slap it on there. Maybe now it's laid out for DCS, and you can use the push-pull switches. Like I use my parking brake on my prototype box to eject my weapons off the wings if I have to, because that way I physically have to grab that handle, pull that switch out, and click it, to make them drop, or Microsoft, or what the hell is it called now, Flight Simulator 10 or whatever, whoever the hell took it over, I use the parking brake switch for the actual pull brake on the Cessnas and stuff like that. So, it's universal, and now I don't have to remember what I made my switches.
Exactly right. I can't tell you how many times, sometimes the guys are like, hey, let's switch over to, FS15 or 17. And I'm like, guys, I need like a day to get everything set up, because all my joysticks, then I forget how I had everything mapped out, and to be able to change the face and be ready to rock that, especially doing YouTube. Like I don't have a lot of extra time like a normal gamer would, where you just focus on the game. So I mean that's like a huge plus for me. It makes anything to save you time and save you aggravation, get you in the game. So I love that idea. I think that's great. So Dustin or Survivalist, would you guys got anything to say about that?
I personally think that a button box that's like, if it's interchangeable between games, it's like it's something that people don't really think about doing. So it's really handy for people who can afford it, and it's not as expensive as button boxes that. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple button boxes out there that are set up to be like used for different games, but they probably have some $900 price tag, and nobody wants to pay that much for something like that.
Well, there are different button boxes out there that are, say the same price, maybe a little less, but they're. And I'm not trying to say this to be negative, but they're bland. I guess you could say they're just strictly an ABS box with some switches and buttons. Yes, they do look good, but when you look at them, it's like, well, it looks like it belongs in a race car. Or if you go over to SciTech and
Right,
buy their
exactly.
flight gear, with the little landing gear lever and stuff like that, well, that looks like it belongs in a plane. Where SciTech messed up, they made it to where it only ties in, I think, the X plane and Flight Simulator 10. And then you got to jump through hoops and write off your firstborn to get all this software to make it work with other games. So it's kind of a big mix of everything together that just got me really brainstorming around of how to make this work.
Well,
And a lot of those game controllers, they are just plug in for the most part. You can just plug them in and use them for anything. But you still have the same problem. There's 30 switches and buttons sitting in front of your face. I don't remember what they do.
exactly. Like you said too, you get burnt out playing the same game. So to invest in every single game and buy, their controller for each game. I mean, like you said, you got to write off your firstborn, and then if you do switch out, you got to remap or try to remember where everything is. And to get something that's more affordable, I mean, and be able to do that and just get into the game and get jam is awesome. It's funny because I laugh because Dustin and Survivalist, I remember just hanging out on TeamSpeak with you guys, and we were going sharing links. We were looking at button boxes. Like you said, they were set up for racing games. They were big money. They weren't labeled, or you had to have a whole sim like chair set up for it to mount properly. So that means you're pretty much customizing out of wood to fit your budget and stuff like that. And I remember at the end of the day, we were looking at the racing ones, and we go, well, it's not really set up for, if we want to do FS 15 or 17 or ATS or ETS. And I remember we actually started going on eBay looking at other button boxes, and they loaded them up with a whole bunch of cheap switches and buttons, but they were cheesy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just a generic layout.
Yeah, and we say this all the time, joke around, but we're dead serious. Like when we got the USB full of shifter, we were so pumped about it because that's a huge thing for ATS and ETS. The second we got the shifter, we're like, we need a button box. We need a CV. So it's funny that this came along because we used to sit here and talk about it. And actually, we actually had a team member who to this day has a box of CBs because we were like, we got to try to make something. So you saved us a lot of aggravation. Now he's trying to sell CVs on eBay. So good job, Jay Kelly.
Nice.
All right. So, I don't, another question, that would cross my mind about you, Jay Kelly. Like, I had my own business, I don't think a lot of people start a YouTube channel. There's a lot of work that goes into creating or starting something or doing a venture, no matter if it's a business or a hobby or stuff like that. I don't think everybody understands, like, how long did it take you to get this, from your mind on paper and get this thing kind of developed? I mean, did it take a year or so? Or how did it all come about?
I started brainstorming it up middle to end of January. Sometime in February, I had my first prototype box. It was pretty much just a panel of plexiglass with a black overlay that was all laser cut out. And I threw a bunch of different switches and buttons and stuff like that in there just to swap them out on the cards, see how they work, see how the games read them, I guess you could say. Because not all games, read things differently. Like ATS, for example, the parking brake is technically seen as a toggle, to where the trailer brake is technically seen at the game as a push button, where you would have to push it and hold it. So it was little things like that that I had to work out, and So it took a lot of time and testing, and I'm not going to go into a dollar amount, but it took a significant amount of money in switches and buttons, shipping costs, waiting time, different controller cards, and so on to test out to see which ones worked best with the games and so on. So, and then here we are now in December. I am officially released, but it took, I would say, officially February since I got something down physically working with the testing going.
Jeez. A lot of trial and error, that's for sure.
Ton of it.
I mean, like you said,
left your channel.
Well, like you said, I don't think a lot of people understand, and like, you're like me, I don't want to talk about the money part, but, you probably went through a whole bunch of different switches, trial and error, you probably got a box of parts that got rejected for this too, so.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff still sitting off on the side that I do plan on using later. It just didn't fit the bill for ATS. I was playing ATS a lot. And I know ATS has a huge following. Once I started sharing the idea with the guys that I game with over in my, TeamSpeak community, they were all, once I kind of threw those ideas out there, like, man, you should sell that. Like, yeah, well, I'm just gonna make my own. If you guys want it, that whatever, I'll make you guys one, ship it out to you. And the more I got to thinking about it, I'm like, you know what? All these years, all this gaming, all this multi-billion-dollar industry of gaming, and no one could think of, different, at least an interchangeable, some type of plate to lay on there that you could label. I mean, let alone, I understand they're not going to go in and go game specific and have parking brake handles and trailer brake handles and stuff, but yeah, it's fine with me. That gives me my own little niche in the market, but it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of headache, a lot of, well, but just wasted that money on that because that's not going to work. And I was damn set on having a damn ignition cylinder working, because starting a big rig by pushing a button to watch the electric system come on and then push another button, that was too race car feeling for me.
Yeah, I agree. You got to have a ignition to have that big rig feel, and I think that's what, you guys, most of you guys or, viewers watching this, they probably seen my setup, and I was using the SideTech side panel, and it was great. It was really good for making videos because of using all the camera views because the buttons were conveniently up top, but it didn't give me that truck feeling, what I mean? Everybody's like, oh, that's cool, you have the side panel. I was like, it didn't suck, it worked, but, to me, I'm like, this sucks. It's not like the real thing, I'm very detailed and stuff. I want everything mint, and, I always had, custom cars. I always had to be different than everybody else. It's just how I always was, so it just wasn't feeling the side panel. And, it didn't light up. It didn't have cool switches. It didn't have a key ignition on it. And like you said, it didn't have the glad handles or the air brakes on it, too. So, and I used to sit here, man, I'm like, damn, I wish somebody would make this. And we used to joke around and be like, man, it'd be great to have a CV. And luckily, thank God you came around.
Well, I guess being a gamer and then developing something from a gamer's mind, which, I mean, I don't know how SideTech and Thrustmaster them guys are. If they just hire engineers out of school and say, look, this is what we want, but I don't know. I'm a strong believer of if you love something enough, you'll probably make something, functional and want it by most. I knew I wasn't by myself on this thought process of having an ignition cylinder and pull out switches for parking brake and trailer brakes and heavy duty toggles and stuff like that. So,
they're not in the game. I guess you say, if that makes any sense.
They're into the dollar signs.
Yeah, can we make a light, or can we? Why not? We don't want lights on it. We could save a lot of money without lights on it, and yeah, it's just not there. It's not 100%, and it's not. And they charge you big money for this stuff.
Yeah, they do. For a while there, I was playing ATS and ETS with the momentary toggles on my X55, just to reach down and flip something for a Jake brake, just to get that feeling, I wasn't out to reinvent the wheel, I just wanted to improve it, especially for gamers. So, and then I forgot to mention earlier, that's also part of what kind of took so long to get the ball rolling. Not only all the testing, of different buttons and switches, but the reliability of them. I wanted to play with the switches and buttons and the ignition cylinder every day to make sure I wasn't going to put something out where you flip it once and the switch falls out. Now, is that possible that that you could buy something with a bad switch or whatever? I would hope not, because I test everything. Like, every switch gets flipped at least a minimum of 10 times. Even the CB mic and all that gets tested out. I do a recording through Audacity, play it back, make sure it's clear, all that kind of stuff. But being electronics, it can happen. But so far, everything is holding up. I went with heavy-duty toggles, and a real ignition cylinder. It's actually an ignition cylinder made for forklifts. So they call it universal. I guess technically it could work in an older vehicle where you just need the electricity on and then to turn it to crank the starter. But, I went with legit parts. They're heavy-duty toggles, I think, rated up to 220 volts or something like that. So I knew they would handle the 5-volt flow off of a USB board, and I knew they would handle constant flipping up and down. So that was part of the process, too, just making sure that, I wasn't going to get flooded with emails a month later saying, my button popped out and the switch stopped working and, all that stuff. So I just wanted to make sure I bring quality to the market.
Well, that's one thing I liked about you, when I first started talking to you, and, even when I first got this button box, I say this all the time. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I work construction. I'm not a full-time truck driver, but I have drove truck, and I run heavy equipment every day, and these are switches you will find in a machine, in an ignition. You probably take this key and start up a Toyota forklift or whatever, but it's real. It's not chintzy. It's not... Right, Dustin? When you got yours, when I first grabbed the box, I was like, dude, this is not cheap. And I'm not trying to talk it up, but I was like, whoa, this thing's kind of beefy, man.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. It's definitely built well. It's definitely not going to fall apart anytime soon, for sure.
Like, I'm not going to do it because I love my button box, but I'm sure you could slim it. Actually, I'd be honest with you. I've been beating the crap out of it because, Jay Kelly, when I first talked to you, you're like, Trey, don't sugarcoat the thing. Beat on it. Let me know. Don't try to talk it up. And I was like, no problem, Jay Kelly, because, obviously, we bought these too. So I was like, no problem, man. I'll let you know, man.
Yeah, that's one thing I ask from everybody. Give me your honest feedback. If you love it, great, you love it. That's what I want to hear. But don't sugarcoat the crap for me, because if people sugarcoat it or they don't tell me, and they rather just set it off to the side and be like, screw this thing, I'll never deal with that guy again. Tell me. I will take care of it. I will change it. I will improve it, because I don't want it coming. I don't want it coming back. I want you guys to experience 110%. In the game. I want you to enjoy it. I did have one that I shipped out. The post office screwed it up. The guy gets it, sends me a picture of the 90-degree mounts snapped off. I 3D print them. I make them from scratch. They're in ABS plastic. So, of course, through testing and everything, I printed my first pair, and I about broke the tips of my thumbs trying to break the, snap the mounts. And he sends me a picture with both of them. Broke off right there at the box. Screws didn't pull out or anything like that, but whatever. Stuff like that's going to happen, out of my control. And then he contacted me, and the computer sees the CB mic, but the audio won't come through. And I told him, I was like, just based on the pictures that you showed me, that thing had to have got beaten. So it won't surprise me if some solder connection inside could have came loose. Again, I'm honest and straight out. And you know what? The guy appreciated the crap out of it. It was no problem to him. He totally supports me. That's the kind of stuff that I want to hear. I want to be able to improve on it. Now, what improvement can I make off that? I don't know. Maybe a different box, maybe a little larger. Actually, after that, when I shipped him already screwed onto the box. So as soon as he told me that, and I saw those pictures, guess what now? They're not shipping screwed in. The holes are drilled. I run the screws through to make sure they thread, right into the plastic. Pull everything back out, put them in a separate bag, and include them. So I know it's a minor improvement, but now the next guy that gets that box won't have snapped 90-degree mounts anymore, because they're going to be sitting in the box for him.
Yeah, so actually, I know who you're talking about, and he is very happy with the box. And like I was saying, I think once it fell off a truck, ran over by another truck, because these things are pretty beefy.
Yeah, like I said, when I saw the pictures and saw them both snapped right there where they screwed to the box, like right at the 90-degree bend, for one, I felt like total crap. But at the same time, well, it wasn't my fault, and I was pissed at the post office. Couldn't really do anything about it because he threw his packaging out, and because I probably had some kind of shipping insurance on it that post office would have paid for it to ship back, or maybe covered the cost and damage and whatever. I mean, again, I'm taking care of them, plain and simple. I'm not going to try to rip anybody off. This isn't my full-time job. I have to say that right up front. But eventually it wouldn't be a bad thing to be my full-time job, to do something that I love. To be involved with PC gaming. Of course, I would love to do that. So yeah, if you guys buy one, please, give me any kind of feedback. You can go to my Facebook page. If you post that you hate it or whatever, for whatever reason, whatever, I'm not going to delete it. I'll leave it up there. I'm not going to hide stuff. I don't like sugarcoating because I don't appreciate it. When you see all the BS reviews, you buy it and the thing is a piece of junk. I cannot stand that kind of stuff. So I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, exactly, and you would want to know too. Nothing sucks more than somebody say, "Oh, I really like it," put it to the side, but then they're telling all their friends, "Oh, it's piece of crap. This happened. This happened." Like you would want to know that so you could correct it. Because I guess that's Jay Kelly, we want to see you successful. This is why, team and I have tried to promote your box as much as possible. We're actually very proud of how much we got the word out too. Is you're doing a great thing, and I would like to see you do this for a full-time job. You know what I mean? And I'm looking forward to buying, all your other boxes, down the line for the flight sims and, racing games and stuff like that. So I definitely want to see you be successful. And like I said, to have a real gamer and have you do something you love, and having you, have the balls to go and get it. A lot of people sit there and maybe I should do it. I'm not going to do it. Somebody else would do it. No, you said you got it together. You made it happen, and we're all benefiting that you actually mustered up the guts to go out there and invest and take that leap.
Yeah, not a problem. And I do appreciate you guys pushing it as hard as you do. I did not expect that after talking to you guys at first. Yeah, yes, I knew you were hyped for it. Yes, I knew you were in love with it when you got it and started playing, your ATS and stuff with it. But I definitely did not expect you guys to go as far as you did, pushing the product. Like, even looking down through the comments and stuff, people were thinking it was you guys that put it out, and people that were thinking we were partnered up. And I was just like, wow, man, Trey is really pushing this son of a bitch for people to be thinking that, pardon my language. But yeah, I think it's totally awesome. And I do appreciate it, and that's why I sent you that special message in your other package.
Yes, and because I sent you a picture, I already framed it.
Yeah, it showed the wife.
Yep. Jay Kelly wrote us I shared it with Dustin, and I don't know if survivors were around. I shared the letter with them, and then, I quickly actually the next day framed it because I'm proud of it. It's a cool thing. It's something I believe in, and this is why we went all out. It's not, Jay Kelly, at the end of the day, I would have definitely helped you out. You're a great guy. I would have helped you out. I probably would have helped you out if it was junk. But it's something we really wanted. And then to see it was awesome, and just your ethics behind it. And the best thing that I'm proud about helping you is I get comments all the time. People are saying, "Oh, not to put down anybody else, but I think after the fuller shifter, USB fuller shifter, this is just me talking. People were waiting for a long time, and they did get slammed with a lot of orders too. So it's hard to keep up with everybody too. But the best thing about you, Jay Kelly, that I was like happy being behind you, were people saying, "Hey, Jay Kelly's really cool. He got back to me right away. I just got an email. I'm getting my button box." I'm like, whew, this, and I'm relieved because, kind of got a name on the box, and we've been promoting you, and I don't want people getting, thumbing down my videos because they're bent out of shape that they're waiting for their box or it's junk. So to hear, "Oh, hey, I really love the box," and he got back to me right away. His customer service is great, and I'm just like, oh man, thank God. And it's a good. And I knew that. I think we knew that anyways. Just talking to you, you're that type of person. But it was, relief on my end too. It's like, man, this guy's really following through. and you're treating human beings like you want to be treated too. A lot of these, once again, not to pick on corporate, but those guys don't give you the time of day, and if you don't have 100,000 subs, they don't want to talk to you, and you're talking to, Joe Blow just wants to do some trucking on the weekend when he's not working to escape reality because he's a gamer and you're a gamer and you're a regular guy and you're treating your customers like regular people. I just think, I don't want to get on it, I don't want to digress, but, I think that's why my channel does pretty good too, because I actually talk to the people. I'm just a regular guy like everybody else, and you think the same way too. So hopefully that makes sense. It's just,
Yep, I totally get you. I treat them the way I expect to be treated by a company, no matter how big. Matter of fact, I expect the larger companies to kiss my ass because that's how they got large. And that's not the reason that, I go above and beyond. There's been plenty of times I'll answer emails 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. If I'm up and it comes through, it's getting answered. If I don't answer, I'm either driving, which is too dangerous to do that, but I will try to answer that damn thing at a red light. Or, if you email me 2 o'clock in the morning and you get an answer, well, guess what? I was up. So why not answer you? And just get it over with. And, some people, ask that question, about certain things. You can just tell they're excited, like, oh, hey, I just got this, and what about this? Or if I order this, what about that? And of course I'm going to get back to you, it's just, yeah, but there are other companies you can submit that support ticket and wait 4 days for the automated email to come through to collect information and all that, but, yeah, it's not what you're going to get here.
Well, I joke around with, some of the subscribers or friends too, and, they mention they're going to get all this stuff, and it's from somewhere that have, big money backing them. And I kind of joke around and tell them, hey, take care of the little guy first, Here's somebody who doesn't have anybody really supporting them but him, and maybe, a couple of YouTube channels trying to get the word out. It's like, take care of the little guys first. Take care of the mom and pops.
Yeah, well, I appreciate all the help and feedback that anyone gives me, any support that they give me, any word they want to spread. I mean, I was truly, truly surprised to have Paulie from Paulie Custom Skins contact me and tell me his thoughts on the box and how much he, liked the way it looked and this and that. Which I don't think he bought one. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of customers. But as far as I know, he didn't buy one yet. But still, for him to reach out and come hit me up, for that. To me, Paulie's the big name in ATS. It's just like, wow. I even had the CSIO guys, what is it, the SKRS shifter?
Yep.
Yeah. I had them hit me up on Twitter. They reached out to me, and I was just like, wow. You kind of get, I don't want to say starstruck. I really don't know what other word to use for it, because I don't get all googly-eyed over it or whatever, but I kind of patted myself on the back because I was like, wow, I actually have a product that's pulling these people that probably wouldn't give me the time of day, just on a basic, conversation kind of thing, necessarily. Not talking about customer service, but it was definitely surprising. So it does make me feel proud of, coming out with this and continuing on. I'm not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, you did a great job on it. No doubt about it.
I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my stuff. Even when I buy stuff, it's got to feel right, look right, work right, function right. So it's just, maybe I'm a little too much of a perfectionist when it comes to stuff. I mean, I've made adjustments on the faceplates, and I'm not talking I moved this over here. I'm talking the openings around switches. I've adjusted them, 0.02 of an inch just to allow more light through because that looks better. People like that, and so it's little tiny details behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, and I don't talk about on my channel. But between being the perfectionist and really being in the PC gaming, I mean, from here I'm just hoping to continue forward. Whether it becomes a full-time thing or not, I don't. That's not my end game. I would like it to be my end game, but that's I didn't set a goal okay, in 5 years I'm going to be working for myself, and this is all I'm going to do. Honestly, I just want to share the love and gaming with everybody else. Really get it out there and get them into the game.
Well, Jay Kelly, I joke around with you all the time. I always tell you, hey, don't forget us when you're rich. I mean, Dustin and I and Smilers, the whole team, we talk about it too, and we're like, dude, Well, this guy's got to blow up, man. So, and we're not trying to, but from what we're seeing and how everything's going, to us, it's a no-brainer that you're going to hit a home run. I mean, that's our gut feeling. Dustin Survivors, we talked about this a lot, actually.
Yeah, man, you're going to blow up. It's going to be awesome.
Well, I surely hope so. I mean, I'm sure if I was Thrustmaster or SciTech, I would have sold 250,000 units by now already. But again, I do it because I love it. The whole gaming and everything. The more I can feel I'm into that damn game, the more I enjoy my game.
Yeah, exactly. Like when I play ATS or any game, if I'm feeling like I'm actually driving a real truck, well, that's how you sim. I mean, we've seen some of the flight sim setups people have. I mean, it's insane. The whole room filled with monitors, 360 degrees of monitors, and if you viewers don't know what we're talking about, like look up some flight sim setups on YouTube. People are insane. Big one.
They have 1:1 scale 737 cockpits in their garage. It's just people go extreme.
Exactly. So Jay Kelly said this to you before, that this is the calm before the storm. So be ready, man. You're gonna take off like a flight sim.
We'll see. We'll see.
So, all right. So real quick, I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much, but I just wanted to talk about, you have a lot of different models now, and I also kind of want to talk about, how we kind of got involved with you and talk about the heavy hauler a little bit. I don't want to make it just a heavy hauler in us, but I think to me it's a magical story, and I would like to share that with the viewers so people could kind of understand how it kind of came about. And I like to talk about your other models. So, you want to tell the story, Jay Kelly or Dustin?
No, you guys can. Go ahead.
So, well, when you first had, I think Full Tilt did make a video, and you made a video of your prototype, and that was probably, how long ago you think that was? A year?
Well, let's see. It started out in February. I might have had a video out on a prototype, maybe March or April, roughly. And then Full Tilt took some, asked for some of my footage to display in his video or whatever, because I was talking to him about it. And he even said, you know what, I wouldn't post this in my videos if I didn't believe in, in your product and what you're doing. Because, I mean, you know what, if Full Tilt might be watching this right now, he's very blunt. So if he doesn't agree with you, he will tell you. Maybe not as nicely, but he will tell you. So, that's how I got that footage on that.
Well, Full Tilt, like you said, he's blunt, he's black and white, and he's your friend. So if he thought it was junk, he would probably tell you it was junk. And
for sure.
And then obviously, he worked hard for his channel. He's not going to try to sell, his subscribers something he doesn't believe in too. He worked hard for what he got. So, back then, for me, I didn't have my YouTube channel. I was heavily into Euro Truck and stuff like that, but I was just a gamer. Never had any idea I was ever going to have a YouTube channel. Was never even a thought. But I remember seeing a video of Full Tilt talking about your game controller button box, and then I think you left links, or I ended up subscribing to you. Because I used to I wouldn't watch too many of Full Tilt's videos, but I always liked watching Full Tilt video when you were on, because you kind of seen a different low side of him a little bit, kind of relaxed a little bit. So
we let her hair down.
Yeah, exactly. In your FS 15 videos, yeah, exactly. He put his hair down. You seen a different side of Full Tilt, and it made for a great video to it. And Jay Kelly, you let it hang out too. You don't sugarcoat anything, obviously, as we just talked about too. And then I remember seeing this. I was like, man, this is pretty cool, man. And then obviously time went by. I started building my setup. I started doing my YouTube channel, and then Full Tilt had a video mentioning it again. And I mean, the team and I, we like messaged you like right away on that video, like, we want in.
Yeah, I do remember when you guys contacted me, and I was just pretty much getting my feet wet and everything. So I was I was just kind of stunned. I'm like, wow, I have a YouTube channel reaching out to me that wants to get in on this and kind of be the first ones to get their hands on it. To I guess have that edge, which you need any edge you can, I guess, on YouTube. But I was surprised, pleasantly surprised now.
Well, I got to be honest with you. Like when we first seen the box, I wasn't like, oh, this. I was like, yeah, this would be great for my ride along videos. But I got to be honest, I wasn't like, oh, I need to be the first one to try to get the word out. I need to make friends with Jay Kelly. We were like, this is effing awesome. We need one now. And if you're just starting out, like, sign us up. I'm buying one now. Like, you know what I mean? And then luckily, well, I guess I could say I'm a perfectionist like you, Jay Kelly. So we did jump and say, hey, we really think this is awesome. We want some. Dustin was like, sign me up. I get one right now, and we talked, and then being a perfectionist, I was like, I'd like to kind of tweak a couple things, change a couple things, and right, Dustin?
Absolutely.
So we were like, kind of nervous. I don't want to I don't want to tell Jay Kelly, and I don't want to install his product or anything. And I was like, hey, Jay Kelly, I really like this thing, but can we switch? You're like, dude, how about we just hook up on TeamSpeak and we talk about it and switch it up. So we ended up having a meeting, and we were kind of just going back and forth. And I think the biggest thing I thought at the time, I was like the brakes, the glad handles. I don't know if you guys remember, but I was kind of like stuck on that.
I had the idea before, but I just thinking like, it's gonna be cluttered. People aren't gonna like it. And then when you guys started giving me all the feedback on it, that really and then us talking about where it should be laid out. I remember you guys saying, well, I would move that over to here, and then maybe put this one over there. So that little feedback, because I am a one-man marching band when it comes to the layout and the thought process and all. I mean, I do ask Full Tilt, and I do ask Pro, like, hey, what do you guys think about this? But, again, I kind of have to see it, and, I don't know, and it's just like, well, trying to develop everything by yourself and run everything by yourself, which I brought the wife in on, like, she's the secretary now. I actually have her, she's probably upstairs right now putting button boxes together for me, so, but, the feedback. The feedback that you guys gave me were great, and then the heavy hauler was born out of that.
Exactly, because I remember at the time, like you said, you're a one-man band. You're trying to keep the box somewhat universal, and you weren't, I remember talking to you, you weren't trying to lock down in one game, and you're like that even with the YouTube channel. You're not trying to be locked down in one game. You kind of want to leave it universal. And I remember telling you, I'm not going to sugarcoat it for the video, but I was like, Jay Kelly, you got to make the handles for the brake. You're like, oh, I thought about it, and you had to get a 3D printer, which, if anybody knows, that's a big investment. That's no joke. And I was like, do it, man. You got to do it. You got to do it.
Yep, I took that plunge. I went out, I think the next weekend, and bought myself an $800 3D printer just to bring that next level of immersion into those trucking boxes.
And I kind of remember, we were kind of teasing each other back and forth, and I remember you sent me an email, and I laughed at you like, hey, Trey, do you mind if you wait a little longer to get the box, because I'm going to, make the handles with the 3D printer. I'm like, dude, I want to show this box off at its best, man. I remember reading an email and laughing. I'm like, I want to show this thing, like, Mac Daddy'd out.
Yep, I had to get myself a crash course in 3D modeling, which luckily ad programs have come a long, long way.
Yeah, they have.
It's more point and click and drag and stuff like that, but I had to lay out prototypes for that and get the sizes right, get the thickness right, make it so I can thread it onto the parking brake handles and not have brass knurl inserts, and I was trying to cut the cost on every possible thing I can, because in the end I was trying to make the boxes as affordable as possible for what you're getting. I'm definitely not going to be going out and buying myself a Ferrari or a mansion anytime soon, because I didn't mark the boxes up exponentially where I'm 400% profits and stuff. Like some people, I had one guy respond on my video, rip off. That was his comment, rip off. I'm like, whatever, dude, to each his own. But it's like, you don't understand the time and money and the time investment itself that somebody would put into this. Like, I didn't make it out of a piece of cardboard, throw some buttons in it, and be like, yo, guys, $300, there you go. But whatever,
yeah.
That'll put me off on a tangent. But
No, and it's true because I got a lot. When I started doing videos, I'm like, here we go with the rude comments because money's tight with a lot of people, and people are cheap. Like I say, I'm not speaking for Jay Kelly, but me, I knew this was gonna happen. I was like, oh, here we go, and I was actually surprised that most people were like, wow, this thing's actually priced really good.
yeah, and there was a guy on your channel. Like, he was before $500. I was like, what? Yeah, even like friends and family local, that show here or whatever, and they're like, that's all you're charging for it? I'm like, I'm not trying to sell myself out of the market. I'm not Thrustmaster. I'm not Logitech. Like, I can't ask premium prices for the stuff.
Well, I think Dustin and I, when we first started talking to you, like, Jay Kelly, I never ever said anything about the price. I was like, I want one. I'm buying one, and you gave me a price, and and we're like, okay.
Yep.
Because we knew what we were looking at. We I bought my PC. I bought the Logitech G27. I bought the USB full of shifter, and we knew what button boxes are going for. So when you gave us the price, I'm like, right, Dustin and I, right on the spot, boom. No more. Want it. This is something we wanted, and to see it, and that's why we jumped on it too. Luckily, we did do good, getting the word out, and luckily when we did sit down with you, Jay Kelly, we actually all clicked too, and it was cool that you're like, hey, all right, if you guys want to lay out the box like this, and you gave us the option to have the TRAYSCAPE Ride or Die edition for the heavy hauler. So for the team and I, we're wicked proud of that, and we do have a, I say this all the time, we do have a think tank here, and a lot of modders do come to us. Like you said, you're a one-man band. It's nice to have a team that gets along, that's into something that you are, to have, kind of brainstorm on one thing. Like, we all sat there and looked at the box, and like you said, the heavy hauler was born. So for me, for my YouTube career and just getting to know you, that was definitely a highlight. So very, very cool. And it's funny, not to get off the tangent, but when I first started my YouTube channel, I told my fiance, she's like, wow, you're actually doing good. I was like, I can't believe it, right? And I was like, one day, and I was just joking around. I'm like, one day they're going to make a controller with my name on it. And I was just joking around. And then like a month later, this all happened. And she was like, oh, you weren't joking around? I was like, well, I was kind of joking. I didn't know it was really going to happen. It just worked out.
That's actually an awesome story. Yeah, that's great.
All right, so I don't know. So for the viewers at home, it's just a magical thing to see that happen and to see the people really like it. And like you said, we only got a couple rude comments. We had one guy was like, "Oh, I can make one for $100." We're like, "Go for it!" And
that's what I thought.
Yep, it's funny because he's a modder. I don't know. Should I even say his name?
It's up to you.
I'm just gonna leave it alone. But if he watches this video, he knows how it is. So he kind of, he's joking around, ball busting a little bit. He's like, I can make one for $100. And then later on, there was another comment on Facebook. I forgot exactly what it was, and he said he could do something better. I was like, well, we're still waiting for that $100 button box. And
I could make a $100 button box. It would be a piece of plastic with some buttons and toggles sticking through it, and hand drilled, so I could never duplicate it again. So that's pretty much what a $100 button box would get you.
Well, like we talked about earlier on eBay, right, Dustin? We were looking at the cheapies. They suck.
Yeah, they're not. They're garbage.
I mean, listen to this switch. That's a real.
That's a large toggle that you're flipping.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
You know what you're talking about.
Yeah, little ones are loud too, but they have a little bit of a higher pitch click.
All right.
These toggles are used in vehicles.
Helicopters, man.
Like they're legit toggle
Yeah,
switches.
they're heavy equipment toggles for like industrial machines.
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff.
These are the toggle switches when you're running heavy equipment. If you forget to buckle up your seatbelt and you flip that bad boy, these are the toggle switches that leave prints on you and stab you, man. I'm not saying I ever rode the machine. But
Yeah, this is a
they
man's
hurt.
box. Definitely man's box.
All right, so Jay Kelly, name that switch. One more time.
That's the black rocker toggle.
All right, name this switch.
That's possibly the ignition going from the on to off position.
And nope, that was the big one.
That was it. Okay.
You
It
know-
found
you
a little
know how-
further away that time.
Dude, you know if I use the ignition, I have my.
Oh, I can hear the
ASP
keys
key.
jingling. I thought you were smart and held them.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Like I said, I flip so many switches. The testing and setup, I make sure that thing works 110% before it goes. So that way, if it doesn't, it's the shipper's fault. USPS,
Alright.
by the way.
So, all right. So you come up with this great idea. You had the balls to make this happen. You know, blood, sweat, and tears go in there. Money's involved. A lot of time. A lot of research. I mean, geez. I don't think people. I don't think people understand how it is to own a business or own a house until you actually own a business or a house, because normally those are the people that walk in your house and don't take off their shoes. If they own a house, they normally ask, "Hey, should I take off my shoes?" But that
Pretty
makes
funny
any
you say
kind of
that
sense.
because I'm that person. Like, where should I put my shoes? I don't walk around my house with my damn shoes on, so I do it at others.
because you understand what it takes to maintain a house or to work for a house. So I think, a lot of people, and don't forget, we have young people too that don't get that, just want to paint a picture. You're taking a leap of faith in a way, and it's cool to see it get this way. And like we said before, there's definitely a comment before the story about the A.S.P game controller. In my mind, I definitely feel that in the gut, and I definitely think it's going to happen. And if you really like ATS, you don't have this box, man. You're missing out, man.
I might add too, if you play games like that with VR, it's a lot easier once you know your button box layout. It's a lot easier to reach down and flip switches.
Yeah.
That was another reason I was kind of on the I'm going to make my own button box layout, because I wanted to get into VR at one point. And yeah, I mean you can reach down. You don't have to look down and see that door keyboard. You have to look down and see that key.
Yeah, they all feel the same. It's like, you can actually know what switch you're touching. You're touching a dial. I mean, the grooves on the light switch. You can tell you're touching that. Yeah, I never even thought about that. Yeah, we had to get one.
So what else would your fans think, what do you think your fans would like to know, or question-wise, or anything like that? I don't want to drag you guys on forever.
Oh, sorry. Well, the viewers got to understand we have a good time, too.
Yes, we do.
Sorry, guys. But, all right, so real quick, the Heavy Hauler was born. And so how many other models do you have going on? Like, how many, can people choose from? Maybe not everybody wants the Heavy Hauler. So how many do you have? So if they went to Evo PC Gaming Store and they wanted, what's their choices? Are they just stuck with the Heavy Hauler, or?
Nope, right now they're going to have 4 to choose from, for now. Eventually there will be more, as I said earlier, when I hit up the other genres. The Excalibur and the Phantom on there, they're more universal, I guess, among other games, because they have the one push-pull switch, of which then, you would probably use for your parking brake. Now, the picture's on the website. I don't have it updated yet, but I will have the 3D printed parking brake switch handle on there. But they are more universal than the Heavy Hauler and the Boss, which you can get that one with the Full Tilt 503 logo on there. Smitty and I laid that out. Like, I straight up went to him. I said, "How would you lay it out?" Because he's not a fan of metal toggles and all that. So him and I, he threw the ideas out there, what he would want. And I kind of photoshopped one up, sent it to him. He's like, "Yeah, that's pretty much exactly how I would make it." So I put his logo on that one. That one's called the Boss. So yeah, right now 4 of them. And if you're not interested in those, or maybe you don't want to pay for them right now, or you're looking for something more flight sim oriented or whatever, there is a mailing list button at the top. They click on that, check off what games they're interested in, and I can narrow that email list down to just go out to the flight simmers, or I can email it just the racing guys kind of thing, or I can send it out to everybody across the board, of course. And then also when you hop on there, you'll see the option to order custom faceplates. As I was saying earlier, the faceplate is interchangeable. It does come off in a matter of, 3 or 4 seconds, if that. It probably takes longer to unscrew the parking brake and trailer brake handles. Once you get those all pulled, key out, the face comes off nice and easy. And if you do get into other games, like say you choose the Phantom, because you're going to do some flight sims and you're going to do your trucking or racing, whatever, you can order extra faceplates. Tell me how you want them labeled, and I'll label them to your liking. And even the Boss and the Excalibur, the Heavy Hauler, they're all customizable. You can either take them the way they're labeled right there in the picture and in the options, or you can tell me what you would like it to have. I mean, I don't care what you label them as. So either which way, the material's got to go into the laser machine. Yeah, it takes an extra few minutes to change the labeling around, but you're getting what you want.
Yeah, exactly. We were just talking about people who were leaving rude comments, and I don't think people take the time or look into it. They just look at it, like for instance, the first edition heavy haul box has display. I remember somebody left a nasty comment, was like, "I would have put GPS on it." I kind of laughed. I'm like, dude, you could totally customize this thing. That the guy you were just talking about earlier that got his heavy haul box busted up in shipping, he actually customized the radio. So you could,
he customized almost everything on there.
Yeah. So you could change it and switch it up. You could put something funny and crazy on it, right? If you want.
I had a guy, again, I'm not going to mention names if I did remember, because I got a lot of people. I had a guy, instead of saying ignition under the ignition cylinder, but that's a gimme, he had me put his name. So his name lights up under the ignition cylinder. But it's stuff like that. It's now unique, it's custom, and it is freaking his.
Exactly. So real quick, so you could get the Boss, and you could get Full Tilt logo on it. You could get the Heavy Hauler with the TRAYSCAPES Ride or Die Edition logo on it. You could also get Junior Senior Gaming on the Heavy Haul box logo. Is there any other popular names that might be going in any of these boxes, or is this something that's still in development, or can we talk?
There is one coming. I'd rather hold off on it right now until I get through all this, and I got to work out the details with him. So, but yeah, there will be more added.
But
so yeah, more stuff coming.
Well, we'll definitely keep the viewers informed of that. I know what it is, and it's very cool, and I'm very excited for that in the future. So, all right, so you could cut. So 4 different options of different types of box, all depending your style, how you game, what you think will fit you the best. You're not stuck with the labeling. So if you don't like the display and you want to say GPS, not a problem. If you don't like the ignition, you want your name, or you want to put your kid's name in the section or whatever. Obviously, you'd be supporting us by getting our logo, but it doesn't mean you can't have your name by the ignition either, right?
Yeah, they can have it anywhere. Hell, I even had a guy not want it to say trailer brake and parking brake in the face where it would light up, because again, it's a gimme. That's what they are. That's what the handle says. He didn't want it. Just simple little things like that. It makes that guy probably now 120% happy about the box instead of just 100%. So it's his. It's unique. It's exactly the way they wanted it. Okay. And not only that, they can get different faceplate colors. Like I have. The cherry burlwood, which is like a cherry port wine kind of finish. If you know what burlwood is, it's kind of a fancy wood grain looking piece.
Well, it's like a trucker.
Black. Yeah, like a dash.
Yeah, it gives it like that trucker
like
dash.
Like car trucker look, yeah. Of course, you can get it in black. It's more of a matte black finish. Will it take fingerprints? Yeah, but not as much as a glossy finish. Like the burlwood is a glossy. So if you're going to have your fingers all over the face, it will show fingerprints, but it's easy. Clean soap and water.
If you like eating chicken wings while you're driving a truck, some people like truck like that.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get it with brushed. You can get it with brushed aluminum. I had a couple people order with brushed aluminum. I did email them to remind them that light does not transmit through the wording because the back of that is black. So once the laser hits it, it's in black. But that should still look cool because you have all the little bit of glowing around the edge of the face itself, like out the outer edge where you'll see the red or the blue or the green going around and reflecting down the desk. And then you'll have it going around the push buttons and the toggles. You have that slight glow coming out of the face there. But the words will not light up on aluminum, so hopefully people pay attention fully to this video in case they order aluminum faceplates, the brushed aluminum.
Listen up, peeps. The brushed aluminum does not show light like the other faceplates.
Yep. And if you are watching and you did order, I did send you an email just to verify that you knew that. If you didn't send it back, that's what you get. I did have one guy reply back and said, you know what, I missed that. Change it to black for me. It's not a problem.
Yep, and if you forgot to get our logo on it, you might want to call back and have them put our logo on it. TRAYSCAPES Ride or Die edition.
Gotta have that.
You know how cool it is? Like somebody somewhere else has their logo on it? I mean, who would have thought? Who would have thought they actually would request our logo?
You know what? I don't even have my logo. Well, hell, I don't even have myself a full-blown box built yet. I'm still running on my prototype, but I put the customer first, I guess you could say. Eventually, I will have myself made one, but
I'm gonna order a couple custom plates from you, Jay Kelly, and one's gonna say "I love A.S.P."
nice.
And then I'm gonna have another one that says "I love Jay Kelly." Everything you have done for this community.
I'm gonna put that on like 8 times, and I've got to just put it all over the box under each switch.
All right, so you know a lot of people. You got 4 different models. You could customize the crap out of this thing. You know, I'm done trying to be all professional. I mean, dude, you can hook this bitch up, man.
Yeah, you can backlight it.
You can backlight it, right? You have LED lights. You got blue, red, what, amber, white? Am I
Let's
correct?
see,
Green.
Yeah, you have red, blue, white, green, and yellow. Eventually, I'll get to experimenting with the RGB strips, but they have the little controllers, and I got to think of a way to, to make it where the controller is easily accessible and still looks good. Maybe that's Heavy Hauler 2.0. I don't know. That's down the road.
TRAYSCAPES Ride or Die edition. Be looking out for that.
2.0.
Just
Yep.
joking. 2.0, baby. Can't wait. Can't wait. So, all right. So, Jay Kelly, like you said, people get confused, or I've been really, every video I always do an intro of your box. I really believe in what you're doing. I really want to help you. We want to help you, the team. It's just not me. I have a great team that backs me up. They help me, with the music on the intro. They help me so much. A lot of this, it's hard to do without having a good team backing us up. But I do get a lot of questions, and, we get these all the time. So I just wanted to, people at home watching, these are some of the questions. This is the one I probably get asked the most. Does the mic work?
Yes, it does. If it did not, I definitely wouldn't have it on there. It's a real Uniting 4-pin CB mic. When you order with the CB mic, it's going to come with the CB mic. I have been asked, can I use my own CB mic? Well, maybe you can. I don't know how your CB mic's wired. I know how it gets wired for the Uniting. So the Uniting in that additional cross has a CB mic. That's what's coming with. Whether you switch it out later, fine, whatever. If it works, it works. But it's wired up for the button to actually work on the CB mic. The mic remains closed unless you push the button. So the good thing is you can use that in multiplayer. The mic's not sitting open, so if you crash yourself into the guardrail and yell out some profanity, not everyone around you on channel 19 is going to hear you. And then TeamSpeak members will also thank you if you are the nose-sniffing, coughing, sneezing, talk to your wife or yell at your dog kind of person. Yeah. So technically you don't even need a push-to-talk key assigned in TeamSpeak because the mic will not open up until you physically push that button and then the mic opens. Now to make it work in ATS-MP, you do need the third-party program Joy2Key, which is free, joy2key.net, the number 2. Eventually I will get around to a video of how to set it up, make it work with ATS, unless Trey, you decide to get to it, be my guest, please. Right now, my YouTube is suffering
No,
because I need to get these boxes built. So.
well, well, that's another thing too. Like, you know, a lot of people are subscribed to your channel. I personally love Muller Trucking Mondays, but I
Not
also
lately.
know, not lately, but I also know, hey, you got to make it happen too. And you are a one-man band. That's a lot of labor, a lot of work. So definitely will help you out with that too. So yeah, I got you, man. I got your back.
You know, and that mic actually has pretty good sound quality, I must say.
Oh, well, you know, obviously people asked me on my unboxing video. I obviously didn't watch the whole video
No, probably
because
not.
we
5
did.
minutes of it.
Yeah, exactly. We did do a test on it, and that was Justin. Remember when I first started talking to you on the mic?
Yeah, it was perfect, crystal clear.
So I don't know if I told you, Jay Kelly. I think I have, but I started talking to him on TeamSpeak, and I was like, you know, we would BSing for a little bit. I'm like, guess what, guys? They're like, what? I am talking on my new heavy hollow box on the CV. They're like, oh man, it sounds clear, like they were shocked. I wish we actually got that part on the video, but even when we did the test for the video, that was the real deal. Like, impressed how clear it is. It's not junk, man.
Yeah, I had to go through 2 different mics to test it out, get good quality. I lucked out, and it was on my second one that I tried out. First one wasn't that good. It was a cheaper mic. It just, yeah, wasn't like you could hear the key click when, you know, because it had more of a click instead of more of a sway to it like a CB mic. But yeah, I was definitely impressed, so I stuck with it.
Yeah, exactly. I was really impressed too, and to be honest with you, I wish, you know, these days nobody has a mic. Nobody wants to spend $20 for a mic. And I wish I could make it mandatory for multiplayer that everybody has a mic because it comes in clear. I don't have to tell everybody to hotkey a button. It's just, life would be so much better if everybody had this. Gaming wise, it would definitely be a lot better. So just so everybody knows, the mic does work. It's the real deal, right? That's fair to say.
The Immersion.
Yep.
Even has a mic clip on the side of the box, man. You got to clip the thing back. Well, you don't have to, but you know, reach down, click it in, or clip it in. Somebody calls out for you. Pick that bad boy up and talk back.
Guys, wait till the TRAYSCAPE 2. What is it going to be? Oh, comes out? Oh, man.
Yeah, 2.0, sure.
Yeah, exactly. We're going with that. It's going to be a while, but chrome mic, fancy lights.
I've already started looking at different mics and stuff to offer, but yeah, it's down the road a little bit. I gotta get through this first.
Hey, baby steps, my friend. You got to start somewhere. Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't think people understand.
I try, though. I try.
You're doing well, man. I don't mind. I don't mind living in your city of Rome. It's pretty cool. Okay, so another question I get asked a lot, even though they watch the unboxing video, they see me do ride-along videos, and they still ask me, does the ignition work?
Yep, it does work. It's all in the way you set up the game. So if you get it and you're buying it for ATS, if you go into the ATS settings, and you have to check off the, what is it, auto start or one press start or something like that.
Yes.
You have to turn that off.
Yep.
And then you go into your keystroke setup, find engine or ignition, whatever the hell it's called in there. I forget off the top of my head. You set the first column, then you click it into the run position. It will register the button. Then you click the second column, and then you crank it over like you're starting it. So it is actually a 2-step. You're assigning the same command to 2 different buttons because on the button box, let's just say, for example, if going from off to a run position is button 15, but then when you turn it and crank it, that's button 16. So technically you are assigning 2 buttons to it, but all in all, it gives you the whole entire setup. And what's cool too is when you stall the truck, you don't have to bring it back to the off position and then go back through and crank it all the way because the electric is still on in the truck. So it's as simple as reach down and just, you know, crank it again like you were starting up a car that's stalled out, and the truck starts right back up, and then when you come to the off position the way I have it set up, it shuts the truck down. So fully working. Now if you get into the game and you left your key in the run position, this is kind of like a little troubleshooting 101, or not really troubleshooting, but just a little tip.
Yep.
If you get into the game and your parking brake's pulled out and your one toggles up, you know, your engine brake toggles up, and your ignition's in the run position, hit the escape button, go into the menu, put the way you need it, then go back into the game and everything's fine, because the game doesn't read the state of the switch. It doesn't know the switch is up, it doesn't know it's down, whatever.
Exactly. So, get in the habit when you're done with the button box, like a real truck, you should turn your key off, pull your brakes, shut off your engine brake, put them back, put all the positions in the correct spot. But like you said, whatever, your mom's yelling at you to eat dinner, you gotta shut off the game real quick, you hop back in, and, like you said, the switches are backwards. All you gotta do is hit escape, set them where you want, boom, hit escape again, you're rolling.
And it's the same thing for like the drop axle too. I'd rather have the drop axle in the up position when it's up, so that way I can look down and know what my drop axle is up. So before I start the game, I make sure that's up. So when it is down and engaged, well, that switch is down then. So it's all your preference, but for people that might get a little confused in that is how you take care of it.
Exactly, but everybody's different. Like for me, because most of the switches are up, you got your high beams on, you got your flashers, you got your engine brake. So when you look at it real quick, for me, I actually have mine inverted. So meaning the switch for my tag axle when it's up is actually down. Yep, I'm saying that right. And when it's down, it's actually up. Just because it would throw it off, and plus I run heavy equipment, which is like flying a plane. Well, it's not like flying a plane, but what my point is, when you pull back, for me, means up. Just like you would in a flight sim game or running a heavy piece of equipment. So, but that's what we're trying to say is you could set it to your preference, to your style. You're not bound and stuck. And I think if nobody knows you by now, Jay Kelly, like you don't like to be stuck with one thing. Like you don't want to be stuck with one game. You don't want to be stuck doing one game on your channel, and you want to be able to switch the plate to play another game. You don't want to be dedicated to one thing. Can't tie a man down.
Nope. And it's all the way the card reads what's a toggle, what's a button, and it controls the state that the switch is in, I guess. Like when you flip a toggle, it's like pressing a button and letting go. When you flip the toggle back down, it's like pressing a button and letting go. But if I tell the card it's not a toggle and you flip it up, it's like pressing the button and holding it indefinitely until you flip it down. So because ATS is the way it is, that is why I set the game up like that. Hence, if you want to start with the drop axle in the up position and the switch in the up position, well, that's how you start. You flip the switch up, then go into the game.
And I'm sorry if I keep digressing. I apologize, Dustin, our survivalists haven't got to say much. I mean, by all means, guys, jump in. But I remember when we first looked at this, and we said, hey, I might want to tweak a couple things if you don't mind. He said, dude, go look at the box. Tell me what you think. And Dustin, remember this? We looked at the box for half an hour, and we were like, dude,
couldn't find anything. We couldn't find anything that we could add to it as far as options for what was in the game. You pretty much nailed it.
I can tell you I'm probably not going to make a box for a game that I don't own. And if it ever got to the point where people are requesting a specific game, like to the extreme to where I'm like, wow, this game is huge and there is a selling potential, I guarantee you I will go buy that freaking game first so I can make sure I design that box and be fully functional to the game, so you're not getting something and then I got to go off feedback, make 5 different versions, and then you have Flight Sim box number 6 2 months into it, So I do my homework, I guess you could say, on it coming from the gamer standpoint.
Another question I get asked a lot too is, what size is the box?
It's 10 inches wide, 6 inches high. It's roughly just about 3 inches deep. Yeah, it might be off like a quarter inch or so. I don't remember off the top of my head, but we'll just call it 3 inches deep. So it doesn't take up a huge amount of space, but it is a little sizable. But then again, you can't cram all of those functions into a smaller box. And speaking of, I do have future plans to make a smaller version of like trucking boxes, but I've been asked that quite a few times. Hey, do you make smaller versions? Yes, I will eventually. But right now, I want to concentrate on the big boy gaming setup kind of thing. So I do understand a lot of people are bound to smaller desk, but it will come eventually.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, Dustin. For me, it's a man's box. I said that in an unboxing video. Like, it's got beef to it, man.
10-4.
Everything you buy, right, Dustin, is way overpriced and skimpy.
Yeah, this is totally opposite.
Yeah, it's funny when I was watching your unboxing video, and you're like, man, this thing feels like it weighs 7 or 8 pounds.
It's heavy. I mean, it's not cheap. It's not like some cheap plastic, something like that. It feels really. You got a little weight to it, man. I got to say, this is I got to be honest. The quality feels better than what I was expecting. I mean, it feels pretty. It's not cheap, man. It's a manly box. It's a trucker box, and you can feel it right here. So, man, it feels like almost like 8 pounds or something. I could be way off on that, but it's a lot heavier than I thought.
When I made that thing, I thought to myself, holy crap, this thing weighs 7 or 8 pounds. I thought the same damn thing. And I was thinking to myself, man, people are going to have a heart attack for shipping, especially out of country, Australia and UK and stuff like that. Shipping and, everything all boxed up, shipping material and all that stuff, the CB mic, give or take, it's 3.5 pounds. So it's heavy enough and it's beefy enough, but it's not gonna break the bank on shipping cost.
Well, that's good to know, and I'm actually glad you said that. But I mean, I guess I was just being real, and that was my real reaction when I actually touched it and held it. I was like, I knew it was good quality. We talked about it, we looked at it a lot, and we couldn't, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't wait for it to show up. And when it showed up, I was like, wow, I knew this thing was going to be built good. It's built way better than I thought. I was like, this thing's beefy, man. So, and like you said, to find out it was only 3 pounds, but I was just shocked. Normally, when you get something, it's like kind of skimpy and overpriced. So I was like, wow, really cool, man. And like I said, I've been beating the crap out of my box. I'm not, I take care of my stuff, but man, I'm hitting switches, man.
Yeah, I mean, the box itself is ABS. The face, the part that lights up, that allows all the light through, and that the switches are mounted into, that's plexiglass. So that's good and strong. It shouldn't, break or snap, or whatever. It's going to take a good beating. If you call me up or send me an email and tell me that the face snapped out of it, how do I put this lightly? You were being a douchebag with your material, with your box. You either raged on it and punched it, or tried to rip one of the switches out. I mean, we've all been there. Hell, I've tried to break my PS3 controllers in half back in the day. Just getting that pissed. But I've changed now. I don't beat myself. I always take care of my stuff. But yeah, it's heavy duty stuff.
Yeah, pretty much. Johnny Boy got road rage and smashed this thing, or maybe he was going through a breakup and the ex threw something. Like shot a gun.
Maybe.
I think you had to shoot a gun.
A gunshot would definitely break it. I did not Kevlar line it.
That's coming out in 2.0.
Yeah. That might be 3.0.
Yeah, it might be 3.0, man. Kevlar, it's not cheap, man. We gotta wait for the price to come down in Kevlar. All right, so let's see. Another question. Oh, I get this asked all the time too. Is it plug and play? And I think we kind of already covered that.
It is. Yep. You plug it in. Any game that will support joystick controllers, this button box will work with it natively. So Farming Sim, Assetto Corsa, iRacing, Project Cars, DCS, I mean, you name it. If it has joystick support, the box works with it. If it does not, as I mentioned earlier, you just go download Joy to Key, and that little program that runs, very easy to use. I'm not going to get into the details, but it takes 2 seconds, a minute to set up per game. I believe you use it, Trey. And that will allow you to use any controller into any game. Like I use my button box in GTA or 5 Reborn server, which anyone that's subscribed to my channel saw those couple of videos up or whatever. It's fantastic. Like I use buttons and switches to control the lights and the sirens and stuff like that. So, plus I drive with the G27 in there when I'm just kind of cruising around town. So, when you're playing on police and something happens, you hit a button and you turn the lights on, he starts running, you reach up and flip a switch and now your sirens are on. Again, it's bringing immersion into the game, where GTA does not support aftermarket joysticks and wheels and button boxes and all that stuff out of the box. So yeah, no drivers, no special anything. Plug it in, it lights up. Go in there, program it like you would any joystick or steering wheel. Drive.
Yeah, exactly. Like so for people who already got your USB full of shifter, this box complements a USB full of shifter, and if you already have a USB full of shifter, pretty much you screwed the thing on, you plugged it in, and it was pretty simple to get that thing set up too. Same thing with this button box. Because I remember when I unboxed it, I was like, oh man, I gotta map this thing all out. I want to finish doing this video. I want to get the word out there. And I was like, oh man, it's gonna take me forever. You know how it is with games, especially like anybody plays FS15 or 17 with joysticks. It's a effing nightmare, man.
Oh yeah, set that game up for controllers. Those games. Oh my god, the amount of controls they have. Or DCS, like flight sims and stuff like that. Yeah, it's insane.
And then FS17 or 15, they don't explain it. It's not like boom up or boom down. It's like, lift.
They word it differently. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, jeez. So
tool number 2, bucket up. It's like, what? What tool is that on what tractor?
And talk about getting mad like back in PlayStation days and breaking your controller. That would drive you nuts. And they play that crappy elevator music. That would drive you insane. That would make you want to break a button box. But this is easy. SES has the option, turn off the music.
Yeah, Farming Sim needs that.
Yeah. Jeez, guys. Hey, what are you trying
or at least a volume slider.
Yeah, exactly. So like I said, just to get it going, and I was running around trying to do the unboxing video and trying to get this up, and I was actually like, oh man, this went pretty easy, man. So it's definitely nothing to be scared about getting this thing set up. And like you said, when you get something new like this, you don't want to play with it and trying to tweak it, get everything dialed in. You want to, plug and play. All right, so one quick question, Jim Kelly, I get asked too, and I just thought of it real quick. People want to know, if I lived in Germany or anywhere in Europe, I get a lot of questions. Are those people able to get this?
For the most part, it does ship internationally. I use the United States Postal Service for shipping. I know a lot of people aren't fans of them, but again, to pass savings on to you guys, USPS is the cheapest way to ship. I've already priced DHL, FedEx, UPS. Going international, it's $20 plus more a package to go through them than it is USPS. I did ship to Australia a month or two ago. It was 2 boxes, and it got out to him within a week, which I was pretty impressed. I didn't expect USPS to get it out there as quick as they did, but I did it. I filled out the customs form, and they said your customer can expect their package by next Wednesday. And I was like, only a week? And they're like, yep. I'm like, wow. And again, it was cheaper. So there are a couple countries that are probably on a little bit of a blacklist. I had a guy from China contact me, asking, you don't ship to China. Like, I really want the box. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you besides me going to, through FedEx and seeing if they do, and then getting you a cost and all that. So, yeah, it might not be shipping to Iraq and stuff like that, but for the most part, yes, it's international. I do have Germany customers, UK, Australia, Japan. There's a couple other countries over there where I wasn't quite sure what the abbreviations were, but I know it's over there somewhere. But yeah, all they got to do is go on there, add whatever they want to the cart. When they do, I believe when they're going through the checkout process, it will pull their address or whatever from PayPal and all that good stuff. I forget how Pro exactly has it set up. But it will come up and quote you the shipping costs and everything before you commit to buying. And then that way also you can confirm it will ship there.
I've been noticed about you talking to you is you're trying to keep that balance of quality and the price. And I said this like I said in the video, that's a hard balance, man. I don't think people realize it's not easy.
It is. It's definitely hard to make it worth my while and also make it still interesting enough to a potential customer. I mean, U.S. Bound customers, I'm saving them, going out to the West Coast, might be saving them $8 to $10 in shipping. For international, I could be saving you $20, $30, $40 in shipping. So, again, that's more of a back scene thing. People don't understand that when it comes down to business and so on. Could I get better rates at FedEx? Yeah, down the road. I mean, you already spoke to them. The more you ship, the better your rates get. Well, guess what? I might be shipping a whole lot right now. Maybe February, I'm not shipping that much. So then I'd have that back and forth game with FedEx. Well, you didn't ship that much, now your rates are up here, now they're down here. And honestly, I don't really have time to go in there and switch APIs around and reflect shipping costs. I just went with the cheapest, simplest setup.
Like you said, passing the savings to them. So, I guess, let's see. So, alright. You have 4 different models. You can customize the crap out of this thing. You can pretty much ship it 95% all over the world. So, if somebody decided, alright, I think the TRAYSCAPE Ride or Die Heavy Haul. Sorry, I gotta promote it.
Of course.
Heavy haul, the TRAYSCAPE Ride or Die Heavy Haul box is just awesome. I want to order it. I'm gonna order it now. I guess roughly, I guess that we shouldn't even really. It's up to you if you want to talk about price, but it really depends how you spec it out. People ask me all the time, how much does the box cost? I'm like, you gotta go spec out what you want.
Well, if they're just going to go with the basic deal, they're not going to get any lighting. They're not going to get the CB mic, like the Excalibur and the Phantom. They're $240. The Heavy Hauler and the Boss is $250. It's only $10 more because of the cost of the push-pull switches that went in there. Cost more than a typical toggle, for example. So again, like I didn't mark it up, an extra 30% because I had to put that switch in, and I just pretty much marked it up cost of the switch. It's the same amount of time no matter what switch to me. So, but yeah, if they go full blown and they want backlighting and they want the CB mic, that's $30 extra for the CB mic because that is more wiring and 5-pin and the mic clip and the mic itself, and then LED lighting is an extra $20. So you'd be looking at $300 plus shipping on that. Now, of course, if they got in on the sale, they got a fantastic deal there. I believe, how much were they going for? I believe the Excalibur and the Phantoms were going for $210, I think it was. No, they were going for $200, I believe. And then the Heavy Hauler and the Boss, I believe I was letting those go for $210 during that whole pre-sale thing. And again, I mean, down the road, I'm sure sales will hit and so on, but right now that's cost $240 and $250, and then you build it out from there. And then the mounting options, that's no additional cost. I did forget to touch on that earlier. The 90-degree 3D ABS printed ones that I make here, and then you can request to have the 100mm studs out the back. I run 4 bolts out the back, and they slide right onto a 100mm piece of mount, as your setup is.
Yep, and I will show that setup, the 100mm setup. That's what I used. That's what I got, and I used monitor mount, and obviously I leave the link in the description. And also at the end of the video, there will be a little pop-up screen that you guys can just click on and watch all the videos on the A.S.P. The unboxing video. There's another video we did, just kind of how it all came about. And also you could click on my ride-along videos and you could actually watch the box in action as well. Team and I said we went all out on the box. We wanted all the bells and whistles. Like you were saying earlier, I'm a perfectionist, and I like to get all the bells and whistles. I like to have the Mac Daddy. For me, this is just me talking. What's another $20 at that point, or $10 to get the extra option? But that's just me. That's how I felt, and I'm really happy that we didn't go cheap when we ordered ours.
Yeah, so I mean, it's all what you're into, and that being a gamer, I like customization. So if they're not a talker and they don't want to be online, or they're not going to talk to guys online or TeamSpeak or multiplayer trucking, or don't buy the CB mic. Save yourself $30 if you're not going to use it. So, I could have been a little bit of a prick and said this model comes like this and that's that. They want the layout, they want the double push pulls and and all that stuff. And oh man, I got to buy with the CB mic. I'm not going to use the CB mic. So whatever. It's all about the customization. Keep keep everybody happy.
And once again, this is just me talking, but you know, think about it. You don't have a mic. You're gonna go Walmart and buy a $20 mic. You might as well just get a good sounding mic for $30 and use that if you're really into, you know, if you're really into the trucking and you want to have that Immersion and get a mic out there. I mean, this is just me talking. I mean, don't buy it without the mic and then go to Walmart and then buy a crappy $20 mic when you can get a good mic for $30. This is word from the wise, man. Don't trip over dollars chasing pennies.
And it's so much cooler to grab a CV mic to talk to other truckers.
Yeah, who wants a crappy mic from Wahlbergs? Right, so I was like, so think about it, you know, just think about it when you're ordering, you know, don't trip over dollars chasing pennies, and, you know, and another thing too, don't, you know, me, I would hate if I ordered something and been like, damn, why was I being all frugal, man, I should have got the mic, you know, because you know somebody's going to look at it and be like, oh, cool, you got the TRAYSCAPES Ride or Die Heavy Haul box from A.S.P, built by J. Kelly. Oh, you didn't get the mic? Nope. That would hurt.
Same thing for the lighting, you know? Some people like to play in the dark. Lighting's going to benefit you. Some people play in bright-ass lit rooms. Well, guess what? Lighting might not benefit you. Save $20. Don't get it.
Plus, listen to this, guys. I'm just, you know, word from the wise again. You have your setup in your room. You have a lady over. You shut off all the lights and there's this beautiful LED glow set in the room. You're going to benefit.
Take her for a little ride, man. You gotta take that lot lizard out in a nice truck, right?
Yeah, that lot lizard. And then with that glow, that little nice glow of Ride or Die, wait, put her in the movie.
That's right, man. You tell her to read that. That's right.
Don't get mad if she says who's TRAYSCAPES.
I'm gonna keep it going.
I have nothing. Yeah, I have nothing to do with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap this video up, guys. You know, I know this video might have been long, but I just wanted to lay it out, let you talk to the man who created this, pretty much answer all your questions, because we do, you know, I'm not A.S.P, and I get bombed with questions about A.S.P. I can just imagine what's going on with J. Kelly. So this is why we just want to do this video, and plus, you know, we get carried away. We really do have a good friendship, and we do have a good time, BS and so. All right, so you got 4 models. We realize everything does work on it. It's not for show. It's not cheap. How long will it take to get to my doorstep? I want this thing. I want all the bells and whistles, and please don't forget the TRAYSCAPES Ride or Die logo on it. How long, and somebody in the States, you know, how long does it take to get the order, get it built, get it shipped?
At the current moment, fortunately and unfortunately, it would be early 2017. I say fortunately because that means I'm busy. Unfortunately because you will have to wait a little bit. And January's starting to stack up already. So yeah, if you are considering buying one, I suggest sooner than later if you can. If not, again, I'm not going to go anywhere. I do plan on sticking around for as long as my damn hands will put boxes together and there's a market for it. But yeah, each one is built to order. I don't build and have 100 of them sit on the shelf. And again, the reason I don't do that is to be able to pass the savings on to the buyer. So if I had all that equipment and boxes and switches and wiring and cards all sitting there ready to go, well, now I got to mark the box up to pay for boxes sitting on the shelf collecting dust because maybe they don't sell, and now I got to cover that cost. So you know that's why you pay big prices in retail stores. You know, because you're paying for the shelf units that they'll eventually liquidate at 90% off and still make a profit on.
Exactly. I don't think a lot of people realize, like, you're being smarter what you're doing. You're trying to keep the costs down so people benefit off of it too. And you know, and a lot of people I don't think realize that you know, I said this in an unboxing video. I hate to keep saying about that, but like, you get a nice fancy box. That's something you order. You know, you see these unboxing videos. They're like, "Ooh, wow, look at this box, dude! I don't care about that box. I'm paying for that box. You know, just make sure the thing's not damaged. I don't care about a fancy box."
You got to admit the one I sent you in lately looks a lot better than the other one.
Oh well, don't forget though.
The other one happens too, so I had to use something around here to get them over.
Yeah, and just so that people know in an unboxing video, just keep in mind, you know, ordered two. Now everybody's gonna be ordering two, so he had to give me a big box. But when I get you know, might be giving it away on our channel box to one lucky subscriber if they're a true fan. Isn't that right, Dustin?
Oh, Dustin's muted out, man. I think he's gone.
He might have fell asleep.
You had to go to work, bro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you might have to go to work. Survivalist, right? If somebody really knows our channel, they might be lucky to get a heavy haul box. I mean, for a YouTube, yeah, exactly. For a YouTuber to have, you know, hit 5,000 subscribers and give away something of value like this, maybe we're just crazy. Maybe
I think you are.
I think so too, man. I might have to give away for a date. I wonder if my fiance would let that slide. But anyways,
that's another time.
that's another time. So, so I guess Survivalists, do you have anything else to say about this awesome A.S.P button box?
Well, I can say that I'm definitely excited to get mine ordered sometime, hopefully soon, and I can't wait to get it when I get my my entire setup. I think it's going to be pretty cool, and I think it's something that this community has been really wanting without actually saying they wanted it all too much because they didn't know where to turn. But now they got somewhere to turn, and it's from what I've heard from you guys, it's a really quality box. I'm excited.
Survivalists, you will get a box soon, my man. Well, early 2017.
Yeah.
So, Jay Kelly, it's just awesome to know you. It's been a pleasure just being a part of this, just having our little input, and for you allowing us to put the name. And we're really honored to help you out. We really think what you're doing is awesome and great. And, you know, we got you back to the fullest. And like I said, we joke around all the time. Don't forget me when you're rich and famous, man. Like I clean your toilets, man.
I will gladly hire you to come clean my toilet tray.
Yeah, the Survivalists be trimming.
I will give you a high quality toilet brush.
I want to
for
clean.
help.
Yeah, I want to clean the gold toilet. All right, so I think there's, you know, I could talk to you all day, but pretty much that's it. You know, hopefully these answered everybody's questions. We know it's a real long video, but there's a lot of ground to cover on this thing. You know, there's a lot of questions people need to know, and maybe this video will help you out. And then you get to kind of meet the guy behind the scenes of A.S.P. If you don't know him, definitely check out his channel. He's a good YouTuber, and he's responsible for getting other good YouTubers up and going too. And for me, it's an honor just to, you know, call you a friend, because I used to actually watch you on YouTube. Survivalists too, right? It's pretty cool to be talking to Jay Kelly.
Dude, it is.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the help. I do want to thank Full Tilt for his support. He'll be putting out one about his box a little bit later. And yeah, if you do subscribe to my channel, don't expect gaming videos to be rolling out like I used to right now. And honestly, that's because I'm working. I need, you know, once I get the boxes out, I'll be back to normal. I'll be posting up stuff. So if you guys have questions or ideas or anything like that, visit the store site. Trey always has a link down in the videos on his trucking videos. So there is a email list up there you can join. So you know, you'll get announcements whenever I send them out. I don't spam the crap out of people. And there's also a contact link if you want to shoot me a question or anything like that. I will gladly answer whatever you got.
You know, Jay Kelly, I just gotta give you props for just being your own guy, getting these boxes out, and the messages I get, how happy people are, and how quickly you're getting these things out. Not to pick on a USB full of shifter, but I think a lot of people, you know, a lot of people waited a long time for a USB full of shifter to come through. So to see these boxes coming out, and you are just a one-man band, it's pretty epic, pretty cool, and I know there's a lot of work. So it's just really cool to see you doing that, and how you treat your customers. You know, it made me feel good, because, you know, I helped you a lot. My name literally is kind of on the box too. So thanks for not letting me down either. So, which I knew you weren't gonna do, but you definitely followed through. So I just want to give you props on that. And also, big shout out to Full Tilt. Full Tilt is the main reason why we probably all kind of came together to make this happen, and the heavy hauler was born because of Full Tilt, just helping us connect the dots, and just him knowing you and connecting us and all that stuff, setting us up, and we're here now. So big thanks to him. He's been really great with me and my channel, and to be able to talk to him. I was a subscriber watching his videos. To have him do a video talking about us and talking to you guys is, a big deal for me on my end. I know Survivalist is a fan of you guys too, so it's, for us, we joke around, we're like, we're with the big boys now. So it's really cool, it's surreal, and I'm really grateful for Full Tilt, you, Jay Kelly, Paulie for Paulie's Custom Skins. I definitely love my team, love the brotherhood. Survivalist, I love you too, man. Check out his channel. I'll leave a link. I gotta start promoting Survivalist more. But no, so, and not to get all emotional, but really cool, kind of magical, and it's awesome. So I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, not a problem. And also, I do want to thank Pro Canadian Pilot. I don't know if he watches you or not, but he does take care of the web store for me and the forums, and he's my programmer. He does our Five Reborn server and all that, so he puts a lot of time and effort into stuff. And he's a hardcore gamer too. Likes doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, I gotta thank Grizzly. He was part of helping us lay out the heavy haul box. He's human resource for TRAYSCAPES Trucking. He's a big fan of Full Tilt and the ATS, and he's a big help. So I gotta thank him real quick. Justin, he's our, we joke around. He'd say he's our IT guy, but he handles the websites. He's, he does our programming. Also gotta thank our modders, Z-Tor, who's our lead modder, and to Blue Knight, who's our skinner. If he ever gets your skin done for your truck, will be another day. So
we'll see.
Yep, and then obviously thank you to all the viewers and everybody who supports Jay Kelly and us. It's pretty cool. So obviously, if it wasn't for them, none of us would be here doing it.
I gotta say, this is probably the best group of customers I've ever dealt with. Like, I've done my share of retail work and stuff like that back in the day, but this is by far the best group of customers I've ever dealt with. They're understanding, they're friendly, they're thankful. That's rare nowadays. So I definitely appreciate everybody that supports my YouTube, and especially the A.S.P box.
Exactly. I say this all the time. I got the best subscribers. The community is cool. Like any community or anywhere you go, there's a couple bad eggs or, sour apples, whatever you want to call it. But for the most part, this community really is great. My subscribers are awesome. Like you said, the customers are awesome. And like you said, people say thank you for making a video. I'm like, thank you for saying thank you. You don't hear that no more. And that thank you keeps you motivated. It means a lot.
Yep, it does.
So, all right, Jay Kelly. Let's all go hop in the car and hit the clubs. All right, Jay Kelly. While I'm waiting for survivors to grab the keys so we could go to the club, does this thing have a warranty?
It does. It has a 30-day satisfaction guarantee, I guess you could call it. It starts from the day that you receive it. I track the shipping. When I know it hits your address, that's day one. I don't say 30 days and it takes me a month to get it out to you, and sorry, you can't get it back. So if you do get it, by whatever chance you find it completely useless and you hate it, you want to send it back, you send it back, you'll get your full refund. After that, you got a 1-year warranty. Parts and labor, buyer is responsible for shipping to me and shipping back for a repair. But other than that, though, you are going to be covered in parts and labor, so you don't have anything to worry about there if something gives out.
So it's like buying a real truck. You get a nice warranty with the thing.
3-year, 36,000 mile.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, man. Well, let's hit this club. Good times, man. Good times.
Always.
All right, just so everybody knows, all the information, all the links will be in the description. So definitely check them out, price it out, have fun. And I will say one more thing before I go, though. When I got this box, I could not wait to get home from work to use it. It gives you that can't wait to go home and play with my new toy feeling. That's guaranteed. So.
Thanks for having me, and yeah, if you guys ever want me back, just let me know. I'll gladly come back. I like every once in a while hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. One day if we ever get free time, we'll get you on multiplayer. So, see you next time, guys. Ride or die.